full of them ghosts. Off on the phone,
hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the 4-4 chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewood got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin', and they really bout it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and Connie I flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the 4-4. This for the 4-4. This for the 4-4.
Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, March 1st. I cannot believe we are already here in March. February flew by incredibly fast as we begin a new month and some new tournament play. As teams are getting ready right now to play for districts on the girls' side, and in the boys' side, they're trying to figure out who's going to be in those districts, including a game that's going to be on the network tonight called by yours truly in Edgewood versus Ursuline. This is a game I'm really excited to talk about a little bit later into the show. Going to try and do as good of a breakdown as I possibly can. We're definitely going to talk about what Edgewood is going to have to do as far as I believe to win this game. Ursuline, for those of you who either are new to basketball, new to high school basketball, or don't know much about the Youngstown area, Ursuline is one of the top dogs. It's a genuine Goliath down there in sports, not just in basketball, but in football as well. Just tons and tons of great athletes down there. And tonight, the Edgewood Warriors, who have accomplished so much, are going to have a chance to really prove themselves on a very big stage as we head over to Notre Dame Cathedral Latin for this sectional final game. The winner of this going to be the district final game. The semifinal game. The winner of this will be going to the district final, which, it never gets any easier. The one thing about I talked a little bit about earlier in this week was how little a lot of people believe that the regular season actually matters. But when it comes to, winning your playoff games, that's when you really have to push it in and perform. But I think this is one of those places where some of those earlier experiences from the year do matter. So while it doesn't matter if you're winning a ton early on, it does matter if you're taking something from those experiences, because these are games where these players, boys and girls, are going to be tested at a very, very high level. And not just in basketball either. We have an absolute ton of wrestlers that are wrestling at the state level right now. 4 or 5 from Edgewood, 2 or 3 from PV. Conneaut sent a couple. Jefferson's got a couple. And wrestling, it's very much it's a difficult sport to succeed in, because it's such an individual sport, really. Team. I think there's definitely a team component when you look at all the points and all those other things. But when that whistle blows, it's just you, your opponent, and the mat. And both you and your opponent are going to fight tooth and nail to keep your back from hitting that mat and, hearing that all dreaded slap of the mat as well. One of the earliest memories I have from wrestling, and I always thought it was very funny. I wrestled all the way up until about 10th grade somewhere in that area. I want to say a huge shout out to Coach John Anservitz, who was my coach back in the day. He's, as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the GOATs, one of the best to ever do it when it came to wrestlers in this area. But I can remember one thing very distinctly was that when we went to Jefferson, there was always a huge tournament out there. And this is before the new Jefferson. This is before the current Jefferson High School that's there. When you were wrestling, there was a sign on the ceiling that said, if you're reading this, you lost. And unfortunately, I saw the sign. So I have lost a match or two at Jefferson. But I just thought it was a very clever way of using that that opportunity, because Jefferson at that time, and we're talking 17 years ago, maybe more. Jefferson in that time had very big wrestling tournaments right there in Jefferson. It was super fun, but I digress. I want to get back to the fact that these wrestlers who are heading out to the districts, I believe, is the level that they're at right now. Huge shout out. I want to send you guys all the best of luck. You guys are representing the Ashtabula County area very, very well. And we are here. We're very proud of you and all of your efforts. All those times, you were running stairs and doing insane amounts of conditioning and running, what seemed to be marathon practices and wrestle-offs and doing all this all while still going to school and keeping your grades up, because student comes before athlete for a reason. This is when you guys get a chance to really prove, kind of get the fruits of your labor. But whether you win, loss, or draw, we're proud of you. Great job. Keep fighting, keep doing what you got to do. Also talking about some of the results for last night. And let me go ahead and bring that up. As you're going to be able to find another thing I would like to kind of keep pushing and let everybody know about is YSN Live is also going to keep track of all the network schools' scores. So instead of trying to go, to Score Stream and this one and that one, or going to Facebook and asking 100 questions on who won the ball game, you're going to be able to find all those scores right there on YSN Live for all the schools. And that includes all 7 Ashtabula County schools that are part of the YSN network. If you have a game going on and it's covered by the network, the scores are going to be on there. Let me go ahead and bring this up though. So for girls basketball playoff, it's Grafton Midway 70, Archbishop Hoban, who is new to the network, 45. So congratulations to Hoban on a great season. And unfortunately, the train ends here, but nothing to hang your head about. These girls are, 2 steps away from Dayton. Marlington, 32, and Canfield, 41. As Canfield punches their ticket, they're getting ready to play. They're 1 step away from States. Canfield has seemingly been impressive in every sport they played this year. It's something that I don't think you get to see too often. Every once in a while, and this is girls basketball, by the way, every once in a while, you get one class that really just kills the game. And that's what Canfield's got, not just on the boys' side, but on the girls' side as well. They have been able to really get the job done all year, and they're knocking on the door for a second title. 1 school, 2 titles in one year is absolutely incredible. Boys basketball, Waterloo 42, Perry 72. Perry, a local area team that most people out here are going to be very well acquainted with. Chagrin Falls 47, CVC. That's a CVC team there as well. Cardinal Mooney 48 in a tight one. So Chagrin Falls is going to fall to Cardinal Mooney, who's one of the YSN network schools. Cardinal Mooney, a very, very good program athletically all over the place. Cardinal Mooney is one of those. That's another school that just kind of carries some weight just in its name and in its history. Moving on to South Range. This one is the one I was most excited to report. South Range 45, Brookfield 44. Not excited so much that Brookfield lost. I'm more excited because this South Range story is probably the most incredible one I have seen in quite some time. South Range, for those of you who don't know, an NE8 team, state champion in football this year. started off the season this year 0-5. They had some administration gymnastics that ended up with a coaching change. I don't know the ins and outs, but what I do know is that they were 0-5, and as the coaching change happened, they finished the season with 15 wins. And 15 wins, all while winning a conference title, which is it's incredible, really, if you think about it. 15 wins, they go 15-9 in the regular season, and have a third share of the NE8 title, sharing that with Ashtabula County's own Jefferson and Girard. But to start off 0-5 and to be able to have this huge turnaround, it's nothing short of impressive. And South Range, that 45-44, I mean, it's kind of their MO this year. You look at the Jefferson game that was covered right YSN Live, and that was a game that comes down into overtime to a overtime three-pointer that gets dropped on both sides. Both teams were going back and forth. So drama seemingly following the South Range Raiders everywhere they go this year on the basketball court, and they are thriving amongst the chaos. But South Range continues. Dalton 55 and Lowellville 36. Lowellville taking their loss after a very good run, including, Vinny Balone, who is just a phenomenal player. This is a kid we called all year during football season. He's a big guy, a strong guy, and they rode right on that young man's back all the way into the district or sectional semifinals. Matthews 37, and here's an interesting one. Badger 54. Badger has been up and down. A team should be well acquainted with up here, because Badger's a team that's going to play PV and St. John and those schools up here. But Badgers, their story continues. Southern Local 61 and Mogador 66. I probably said that name wrong, because it doesn't matter where I'm at or what company I'm in. I'm pretty sure I always get corrected. Mogador, the team with the green paw is who won that game last night. That's what we got going on. So those are the scores from last night, available to you once again on www.ysnlive.com/scores. If you're looking for scores and you want to keep up with some of the best athletes in the county, or any of the YSN network schools, you're going to want to go right there, one place to grab all of your scores. All right, folks, with that, we're going to go to a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some upcoming events, including a senior game, an all-star game, and we're going to end the show with a breakdown of how I believe Edgewood is going to have to, what they're going to have to do to win this game against a very, very good, I'm trying to get my thing to load up, a very, very good Ursuline Fighting Irish. I will be right back.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren. Driven by you.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
Hi, I want to tell you about my Trish Yearwood home collection available at Sheely's Furniture. With 2 locations serving Ohio and Pennsylvania, Sheely's is one of the country's top sellers of my home collection. And the best part? At Sheely's, you never have to wait for a sale. They offer everyday low pricing as well as a price match guarantee, so you can shop the Trish Yearwood home collection with confidence. Come see my collection with something to offer for every room in your home and get it all with free local delivery only at Sheely's Furniture.
All right, welcome back to 440, the 440 Sports Show. Ashtabula's first and number one morning sports talk show. I'm Sam Torres here with YSN, bringing you the show right now. I will tell you guys, if you are interested, there are some sponsorship opportunities for this show. It could be the 440 Sports Show brought to you by insert business here. If you are interested, feel free to contact me on any of these socials right here. Any of those socials right there, you can contact me. As well as from my email, 440andgoldstill@gmail.com, with any interest in sponsoring the show, any interest in running some local advertisements, that sort of thing. I would love nothing more than to get Ashtabula kind of a larger presence on here on the network via our businesses. But with that, we're going to talk a little bit about some upcoming events. The first one I want to talk about right here is the 2023 Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation Senior Classic. This is going to be on Tuesday, March 7th, 2023 at Edgewood High School. Girls tip is going to be at 5:30 and boys tip is at 7:30. One of the cool things that I'm really excited about with this one, they're going to have a 3-point shootout at halftime of both of the games, and they'll be awarding Senior Classic MVPs for both boys and girls. Admission only $7 for adults and $5 with the student discount. This is an event that's going to be right here, broadcast to YSN. It's Tuesday, March 7th, so you'll be looking at this guy right here, or more so hearing me at that time. Really looking forward to that. Last year we had a chance to cover the game, and it was an absolute blast. This year there's some really great seniors that are going to play. What differs this game from the YSN All-Star game, which we'll talk about just here in a little bit, this game is only seniors. So, from all 8 Ashtabula County teams, you're going to get to see the very best seniors all on one court. The 3-point contest is always very, very competitive. Last year we had a chance to get some dunks in the game, and 2 of the people that stuck out, I think, to me the most, Ben Welty and Bobby Ray, really put on a show last year. So I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to create that memory this year here in Ashtabula County. And the Ashtabula County Basketball Foundation, they do such a great job of maintaining records and keeping some prestige to Ashtabula County basketball. And they've got an event coming up here at the end of the month as well, 36 days or 34 days away, I believe, when they're going to have their awards ceremony right there at the New Leaf Center in Conneaut. That's something, there'll be some coverage of some sort for that event. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have that kind of nailed down yet, but we will be covering it in some regard. So make sure you guys stay tuned right here. But as of March 7th, 2023, I'll be there calling the game. I think I'm going to be joined by Jack Cafaro, but I'll have to knock that in for sure here shortly. He's a young man that just does a phenomenal job on the broadcasting side. He's really, he's going to be going to school for it, and it's a blessing to have him kind of help and get through, and really just a lot of fun. He's just a great kid, and I'm really honored, I guess is how I would put that, to have him be a part of the YSN group, the YSN family, and helping on the broadcast side, and us helping him however we can do that. But moving on to the next event coming up on March 25th. It's the YSN All-Star Game, and I'm really excited about this one because this, for the first time, is going to have Ashtabula County teams and Ashtabula County players represented right there at the Begley Center in Youngstown, Ohio. And you talk about a big stage. They don't get much bigger than that. YSU has a phenomenal basketball court. This is going to be a huge event. You're going to have all sorts of teams. The YSN network is huge, and because they are so large, we can put on these really huge events, and this is going to be one of them, where you're going to have all-stars from 60 schools all taking part in one basketball game. That's boys and girls. So the girls game going to start right there at 5:30, and the boys are going to be right after that. One of the cool things about this, I'm super excited. For the first time, I will be on the broadcast with my good friend Ty Bartell. It's going to be us calling the boys All-Star Game, and for the first time, I'll get to see, I think, all of the YSN All-Stars and all of the YSN network basketball players in one place. I'm really looking forward to it. This is something that I hope that people can make time to get down to, because it's really just a great event. How often are you going to have a chance to play the best of the best on a college basketball court? And YSU just does such a phenomenal job. Really, really looking forward to this one. So once again, make sure you guys mark your calendars. March 25th, 2023 YSN All-Star Game. I don't want to give away too much, but I do want to tell you that there is going to be a ton of representation from Ashtabula, not just on the player side, but a little birdie told me there may be a coach or two in there as well. So make sure you guys get down there and support it. And if you can't make your way all the way down to YSN, completely understandable. I get it. Make sure you head over to www.ysnlive.com. Now, this event will be free to be streamed. So this event is going to swing right back in to all, in line with all of our other content. So this event will be free. If you can't make it to YSU, make sure you check it out right here on ysnlive.com. Give these kids the support that they so very much deserve. All right. I do want to give you guys an update on what games are going to be on the network tonight. So for that virtual pass, it's Canfield versus NDCL. That's going to be on the YSN network tonight. That's a district championship game, or a regional championship game, as Canfield is a district champion. Obviously, another one on there, Garfield girls versus Shaker Heights. So two girls games going to be on the network tonight. Both of those going to be available via the virtual pass. And I guess the big one to me is Ursuline versus Edgewood. And that one is going to be at Notre Dame Cathedral Latin. And on the call for that game is going to be yours truly. I've talked about this one since Saturday, since it popped up. This is a big game. This is going to require of what Edgewood possesses. And I think it's going to take some stuff that I don't even know if Edgewood knows they have. And when I say Edgewood, I'm talking about the players. I know that Coach Bowler gets the absolute most out of his players. And tonight, that's what's going to have to happen. You look at a team like Ursuline, they have a dynamic, and I feel like even calling him dynamic is underselling the game. A dynamic point guard. And this is a guy who is sectional title game last year. That's not the only one that Ursuline's got, though. Ursuline, and a shout out to one of my fellow network comrades in Anthony Hartwig. reading up some of his stuff. If you want to have an idea of what's going on with Ursuline, go ahead and check out their last game. Their last game outlining, and one of the things that stuck in their last win is and here's the real killer. 6 3-pointers points. So when you have guys, and this is a kid that, and granted, I'm not like a Ursuline super fan or anything, so I didn't watch a ton of Ursuline Fighting Irish basketball this year, but he's not a kid that jumped off the paper. It's been a lot of Pankey talk, not a lot of anybody else talk, and that's one of the great things about the tournament tonight, to win this ball game. And I think the first and the foremost is probably the easiest for everybody, and that's Zach Vensel's going to have to play a game. Zach Vensel has games where he's gone 40 plus this year. Zach Vensel has the ability to rebound. He's got the ability to play great defense. If ever a night was the night that you're going to have to shine, it's going to have to be tonight. So look for Zach Vensel to have an absolutely huge game. This kid just passed 1,000 points against West Branch at home. All right, so the pressure, he's used to it. It hasn't gone anywhere. Coming into this senior year after losing a big-time scorer like Ben Welty, somebody else had to step up. I think everybody looked to Zach Vensel to kind of take on that scoring role, and he answered, and he's answered all year this year with an incredible senior year. And if he plays a big game tonight, I think Edgewood has as good a chance as anybody to win this ball game. But there are five players on the court, and not one guy is going to be able to win the game. Zach Vensel is going to have to play a tough game, but they're going to need big games from other guys as well. One of the other guys I want to talk about is somebody who I don't think gets talked about enough. I think he definitely flies under the radar for Edgewood, and that's James Montanaro. James Montanaro is one of their better shooters as well. James Montanaro is a guy that can give you a quality 12, 15, 17 points, playing great defense, covering passing lanes, and just making it very uncomfortable for scorers to score, all while scoring himself. People kind of forget about him, especially on other teams on defense, because they're so worried about putting big-time defense on guys like Vensel, guys like Ernst, that he's able to slip through the cracks. And if you give this young man an open shot, he can knock it down. And when he starts knocking him down, he gets confident. He starts firing that thing. He's got a chance. It's guys like Montanaro that have a chance to be game changers. Montanaro can be the Flauto for Edgewood tonight. They're going to need big games from other guys as well. We're going to go through a lot of them, so just get ready. One of the other guys I think that is going to stick out for me is the forward Logan Cray. So Logan Cray in the last 2 playoff games, huge input on the scoring side for Edgewood. While early in the season he's taken on more of a post role, of a forward role where he's just getting the ball, getting rebounds, kicking out, making sure that other guys are getting their shots. I mean, at times you're going to see him bringing the ball up the court and in a guard sense. But Logan Cray's a kid who can shoot the ball too. 22 points in a playoff game already this year. He's a kid. They've got some weapons here at Edgewood, and everybody, it's going to take all hands on deck for that to happen. I've talked ad nauseum really about Jacob Ernst and his ability and his ability to change the game with his dynamic basketball play. Ernst is going to have to play a big-time game tonight because he is the momentum swinger on that team. His ability to play above the rim, his ability to cross people over, his ability to block shots, chase down block shots a la LeBron James, is something that really installs confidence in the rest of the team. And you can see when these guys come down and they get those big block shots or they get a big momentum play. Edgewood is the most dangerous team definitely in the area this year when they have momentum. When they get a little bit of confidence, there's not much you can do with them. Another guy I want to talk about is their guard, Anthony Hunt. Anthony Hunt, who has been dealing with injuries off and on for the last 2 years. It's something that the young man has powered through. But Anthony Hunt, arguably the best on-ball defender on the team. Hunt's a true guard. He's a true guard for the Warriors. So he's a guy who can be a pacemaker and set the pace for this team. They're going to need big play from guys like him. They're going to have that good on-ball defense. You know, Hunt also goes off this year for 17 or 18 points in a couple games. He's a kid who, you know, he can shoot that thing. You know, he's a kid. They're going to need a big game from him. And last and finally, and if I'm forgetting anybody, I apologize, but I'm just going through my notes, and these are the things that I've seen this year from Edgewood basketball. Brady Anderjack. Brady Anderjack comes late in the year because of an injury, some stress fractures and stuff from running. Joins back up with the basketball team, becomes an immediate contributor. Plays big-time defense in that West Geauga game where Prexta seemingly could not miss. They're going to need those defensive stops because everybody on Ursuline can score. And I think this will be the first team that the Edgewood Warriors have seen since Richmond Heights, where everybody on the team can score. My hope for Edgewood is that they remember that even though everybody on that team can score, everybody on this team can score too. So you look at, it's going to take a group effort. These guys are going to have to trust the process. They're going to have to trust Coach Bowler. And if they go out there and they play this game, they can win this ball game. They are absolutely a huge underdog. Absolutely a huge underdog. Ursuline basically has a frequent flyer club pass when it comes to basketball in the districts. That's what they do. They get there every year. Every year they're good. It is the top level. It is the top level of basketball, and unfortunately for Edgewood, they're meeting them earlier in their journey than they'd want to. But that's okay, because to be the guy, you have to beat the guy. Edgewood's going to have a chance to do that tonight, and it's going to be right here on ysnlive.com. I'm really, really looking forward to it. That video of how to purchase the virtual pass is going to be available on the Facebook page, as well as I'll put it on Instagram today. So it's going to show you, it's going to walk you right through how to buy the pass. That way you can watch the game. The game is at Notre Dame Cathedral Latin. I'll be on the call tonight for this game. It's going to be a great game no matter what. Win, lose, or draw. I think tonight we're going to get absolutely top-tier basketball. And I just cannot wait. I'm so excited for this game coming up tonight. But I will put that virtual pass out there. The YSN virtual pass is the best value in all of sports. I'm just going to be honest with you. You look at a night like tonight, and again, as we get further and further into the bracket, just like your coverage slows down on TV, it slows down on ours as well. We're just running out of teams. But tonight we still have 3 ball games that you're going to be able to buy. So for $10, you're going to get to see 3 OHSAA playoff games right here on YSN Live. Whereas on other sites, if you wanted to watch that many games, it's $10 a piece. You're looking at $30. So that's what's going on tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining me on the show today. I want to remind you tune into YSN socials and ysnlive.com, as we have some great shows that are going to be happening throughout the day, including Talk More with Matt Moore coming up shortly, Running Point coming up thereafter, and the Blarney Stone that is Power Hour at the end, which is going to tie everything together. It's a lot of great guys who care a lot about local sports that are going to be doing very similar work to what I'm doing right now. If it's a great way to kind of, for those of you in Ashtabula who are just now kind of learning and getting acclimated to the teams in the Youngstown area, there's no better way to do that than to watch these sports shows, because these guys are going to cover those teams with the same gusto I cover these teams. So I think it's just a great way, and make sure you check in on these guys. Very, very talented. Tomorrow we're going to have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Obviously, the result of this game. we're going to dip our toes into the water on baseball, because I've seen a couple videos that have been floating around and some posts that have been floating around of some very impressive baseball players and pitches and pitchers and stuff like that. And it looks like it's going to be a great year for baseball this year. And I can tell you that that baseball this year is going to be covered quite consistently right here on YSN Live for these Ashtabula County teams. I know that YSN already covers a ton of baseball, but it's definitely something that's going to happen on my end for that as well. So for the 440 Sports Show, I want to thank everybody for joining us and invite you guys to join all of my partners and comrades throughout the day as they're putting out their shows as well, and invite you guys to come on back tomorrow, 8 a.m. for Ashtabula's only morning talk show that talks about sports. My name is Sam Torres, and thanks so much for joining. I'll talk to you soon.
This for the football. This for the football. For the city and the back roads, got a whole county full of them ghosts. All from the football, and let's go. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewell got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they no defeating no dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really doubt it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and kinda I flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the football. This for the football.